you should have 6 times the quantity 4 minus a negative 2. And then plus 4 times the quantity 6 plus a negative 2. So it's going to be 6 times 6 plus 4 times 4. 36 and 16 would be 52.
What I did was
Alright, x plus y. So that's going to be a negative 1 plus 3 in there. The z is negative 2. Y is 3, x is negative 1, and z is negative 2. So, from inside here, oh, don't forget all this is squared. So inside here we have a positive 2. And you got to square it to get 4. And then times a negative 2 to get a negative 8. This is a positive 1. That's a double negative. Negative 1 plus 2 is 1. Squared is 1. Times 3 is 3. Alright, so let's find the mistake that the two of you made that had negative 24. You had 2 squared here times 3 times a negative 1 plus 2 times 3 squared, and then times a negative 1, and minus 2 times 3 times the negative 1 squared. Alright, have you found it yet?
Yeah.
You did? Alright. Which part was it at?
Plus that last thing instead of minus.
Oh, okay. So we should have had 4, 12, that's a negative 12, and then this is 9, 18, negative 18. That's a 1, 3, and minus 6. Negative 36. The winning number today is 2.
Just the answers or the whole thing?
We have 5 here today, and 5 have their homework, so that's 100%. I've had 3 100s today. Hopefully that will last throughout the school year. All right, here are the answers. Put a check mark beside the ones that you have right. Number 1, 52 times the quantity of 20x plus 30. 2 is 52 times the quantity 35x plus 40y. 3 is 52 times 15x plus 32y. 4 is 52 times the quantity 12x plus 15y. 5 is 52 times the quantity 16x plus 28y. 6 is 18. 7 is 24. 8 is 80. 9 is 16. 10 is negative 36. Today's objective: use equations to solve problems. Here's example 1. A copy machine makes 160 copies per minute. A second copy machine makes 130 copies per minute. Now this is where it gets fun. The second machine starts making copies 4 minutes after the first machine starts. Both machines stop making copies 12 minutes after the first machine started. Together the machines made how many copies? If you have to, make yourself an illustration. Not with an arrow. but I meant to use a box. There we go. So we're just pointing to the copy machines. Here's machine 1 and machine 2. Write down what you know. Don't try to think the whole problem through in your head. What do we know about copy machine number 1?
It makes 160 per minute.
160 copies per minute. What do we know about copy machine number 2?
It makes 130 copies per minute.
All right, 130 copies per minute. Now, we've taken care of this and this. Let's move to the next part. The second machine, which is this one, starts making copies 4 minutes after the first machine starts. Now, the next one says both machines stop making copies 12 minutes after the first machine started. How long did the first machine run for? 12 minutes, and that's very important because if you understand that, then the rest of the problem becomes easy. So if the first copy machine makes 160 copies per minute and it runs at 12 minutes, then how many copies did the first machine make? 1,920. Now the second machine. What we still need for the second machine is how long did that machine run?
8 minutes.
How do you know it's 8?
It started 4 minutes after the first one started.
That's right. So if the first one ran for 12 and the second one started 4 minutes late, you take that 4 off the 12 and you come up with 8 minutes. So how many copies did the second machine make?
1,040.
1,040. Okay, so to find the total copies they made together, what do you do? Add them together.
1,940.
All right, so what do we get?
2,960 copies.
2,960 copies is right. The first machine makes 130 copies per minute, and it runs for how long? 15 minutes. So we're going to multiply that and then add it for what we get over here. The second machine ran for how long?
12 minutes.
12 minutes, right. Whoops, 12 minutes, and it makes 130 copies
What?
per minute.
Makes 80.
Oh, 80 copies, my fault, yeah. 80 copies. All right, so this should be 960 copies there. And then for the other one, 130 times 15 is the same thing as 1,300 plus 650, so it would be 1950. And add those together and come up with 2910, right? All right, 2910 is the answer. If you can get that outright, then you may not have to do anything but look at the answers on the test for multiple choice. Now, if you get an answer and it's not on any of the choices, then you definitely have to do it over again. Everybody had this. The answer is 4. Everyone had that. The answer is also 4 for this one. Last one. This should be negative 3x plus 6x equals negative 9 minus 12. So that's 3x equals negative 21. Divide both sides by 3. You should get negative 7. Example 3. Marlon is bowling in a tournament and has the highest average after 5 games, with scores of 175, 200, 180, 215, and 260. In order to maintain this exact average, what must Marlon's score be for his 6th game? Well, first of all, he has the highest average from up here. He has the highest average after 5 games, but what's his average?
You have to find it.
You got to find it. So let's find his average. What do we have to do?
Use the mean of it.
Yes, the mean. So we have to add all of these up. 175 and 200 is 375, plus 180 is going to be 555, and then 215 is going to be 770, and with 260 would be 1130. Is that right?
930.
Was it 930? I was doing it all in my head.
I did the calculator. It came out to be 1030.
Is 1030?
10:30.
He says 1030. All right, 1030. What did I say? 1130?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, he's right. It should be 1030 because you're at the end of it. You're adding a 700 number and a 200, but it goes over 100 for the last two digits. So yeah, 1030. Anyway, we do that. But what do we do with it now? Divide it by 5. Yes. So how many times does 5 go into 1030? 106. Okay. Oh, 206. Okay. All right, 206. So his average is 206. In order to maintain this exact average, what must Marlon's score be for his 6th game? 206. That's the answer. Because no matter what scores you have through here, they will give you a certain average. And if you want to maintain that average, you cannot have a score that is above or below it. You have to have that exact same score to get the exact same average after that point. So this is the right one.
Go home and shoot in
We'll
the
go
baby
home
trash
and
can.
by rain and look like.
So Marlon is bowling in a tournament. It has the highest average after 5 games with scores of 160, 205, 250, 170, and 190. In order to maintain this exact average, what must be Marlon's score for his 6th game? So we have to add this up with all those. The 119?
Yeah, I don't know why I did that.
Yours was 119 and everybody else was 195. So we'll see. You never know, he might have the right answer.
I don't have the right answer.
He has no confidence in himself. These two added up together will be 360, and these two added up are 410, and then the 205 is last. These two together will give you 770, and then with the 205 is 975. If you divide by 5 on this, 975 divided by 5, 5 will go into the 9 once with 4 left over, and then 5 into 47 9 times with 2 left over. It'll be 195, and he has to have a 195 to maintain that average on his 6th game.